Yes, it's the first time I've worn it. I'm sure you of that.
Well, very nice to you. Lovely.
No, it's very ordinary. Now, where's my umbrella? There it is. That's mine too, not Bert's.
And you had out in your umbrella. Can you imagine, Hedda?
Yes, very pretty. Lovely.
Yes, they're lovely. Now, Auntie Julia, before you go, just take another look at Hedda. Now, she's very pretty and lovely.
It's nothing surprising in that, George. Hedda's been beautiful all her life.
Yes, but have you noticed how chubby and healthy she looks? She really filled out while we were gone.
No, that's enough.
Filled out?
Yes, it doesn't show very much when she has those clothes on, but I'm lucky enough.
You're not lucky enough for anything.
It's probably the mountain air in the Tyrol, but...
I'm exactly the same now as I was when we went away.
So you keep saying, but you're not. Don't you agree with me, Auntie?
Hedda is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. May God bless and keep you, Hedda Tesman. For George's sake.
Let go of me.
I shall come and visit you both every day.
Yes, you make sure you do.
Goodbye now. Bye.
What are you looking at, Hedda?
I'm just standing here, looking at the leaves. They're so yellow and dried up.
Yes, well, we're well into September now, after all.
Yes, we are already well into September.
Did you think something was slightly odd about Auntie Julia today? She was sort of formal.
I hardly know her. Isn't she usually like that?
No, not at all.
Was she upset by what I said about her hat, do you think?
Oh, not particularly. Perhaps at the time she was thinking.
But fancy leaving your hat around like that in the drawing room. It's just not done.
Well, I'm sure Auntie Julia would do it again.
Anyway, she'll try and make it up with her.
Yes, Edgar, if you could, that would be nice.
When you go over there this afternoon, why don't you ask her over for the evening?
Yes, I will. And there's one little thing you could do that would really make her happy.
What is it?
If you could perhaps stop calling her Miss Tesman, for my sake.
No, dear, I can't. We've discussed this before. You mustn't keep asking me. I'll try and call her aunt, all right, if you like. That's the best I can do.
It's just that now you're one of the family.
I don't see what...
What is it, Edgar?
I'm just looking at the old piano. It doesn't go very well with all the other things.
Well, as soon as I start getting my salary, we'll see about how much exchange.
Exchanged? That's not what I meant. I don't want to get rid of it. No, I thought we could move it into the back room there and get another one to put in its place. I mean, as soon as we can manage it.
Of course, so why not?
These flowers weren't here when we put in last night.
I expect Auntie Julia to come through.
There's a visiting card. We'll call in again later today. Guess what's from?
I don't know.
Mrs. Elvsted.
Really? Wasn't she Miss Writing before she made the magistrate?
Yeah, she had that irritating hair she was always flaunting. I was told she was an old flame of yours.
That didn't last long. And that was before I met you, Hedda. But what's she doing in town? It's extraordinary.
It's strange she should want to call on us. I haven't seen her since I left school.
Yes, it's been God knows how long since I last saw her. I don't know how she puts up with it, living up there in that out-of-the-way hole, do you?
Listen, Tesman, isn't he... Doesn't he live somewhere up around that area? I like to Loughborough.
Yes, somewhere in that area.
That lady who called a while ago left some flowers here for you.
Oh, is she? Well, show her in. How are you, Mrs. Elvsted? It's lovely to see you again.
Well, it's been a very long time.
Yes, it has, hasn't it?
Thank you for the beautiful flowers.
Oh, that's all right. I wanted to come straight here yesterday afternoon, but I heard you were still away.
You've only just arrived in town, haven't you?
Yesterday afternoon. I got quite desperate when I heard you weren't at home.
Desperate? Why?
But my dear Mrs.
I heard there's nothing wrong.
Yes, there is, and I don't know a single person here I can turn to, except for you.
Come on, let's sit down.
Oh no, I feel much too restless to sit down.
No, you don't. Come on.
Now, what's the matter, Mrs.
Is there something wrong at home?
Yes, well, there is, and there isn't. The thing is, I don't want you to misunderstand me.
Well, then you'd better tell us everything as plainly as possible.
After all, I expect that's why you came, isn't it?
Yes, of course it is. Well, I should tell you, if you don't already know, that Isla Loughborough is here in town.
Loughborough?
Really? What, Isla Loughborough? Did you hear that, Hedda?
Of course I heard, my God.
He's been here about a week already. A whole week in this dangerous town, alone. Mixing in all that bad company.
But my dear Mrs. Elvsted, what's he got to do with you?
Oh, well, he used to be the children's tutor.
You have children?
No, I don't. They're my husband's.
Your stepchildren?
Yes.
But was he sufficiently, I don't know quite how to put this. Was he sufficiently regular in his way of life to be suitable for a job like that?
In the last 2 years, his behaviour has been impeccable.
Really? Extraordinary. Did you hear that, Hedda?
Yes, I did.
Impeccable, I promise you, in every way. But even so, now that I know he's here in a big town with all that money on him, I'm terrified of what might happen to him.
But why didn't he say where he was with you and your husband?
Since his book was published, he's been far too restless to settle down at home.
Oh, yes, that's right. Auntie Julia told me you published a new book.
Yes, it's a wonderful new book on the history of civilization, sort of a general outline. It's been out about a fortnight. It's sold very well. A lot of people have read it. It's caused something of a sensation.
Has it really? I suppose it must be something he's been saying since. Happy days.
Do you mean some time ago?
Yes.
Oh no, he's written it all since he came to us over the last year.
Really? Well, that's good tidings, isn't it, Hedda?
If only it was last.
Have you found him yet?
No, not yet. I had the greatest difficulty tracking him down, but I finally managed to find his address this morning.
Actually, I think it's a bit strange that your husband...
My husband? What do you mean?
well, that he should send you into town to run his errands and not come in himself to look after his friend.
Oh no, my husband hasn't the time for that kind of thing. Anyway, I had some shopping to do.
Well,
I just wanted to ask you, Mr. Tesman, please be kind to Isla Lovborg if he comes to see you, please. Because I'm sure he will. After all, you used to be very close friends. And aren't you both studying the same subject? You're in the same faculty, aren't you, as far as I can remember?
Used to be, yes.
Well then, please can I ask you very seriously to keep a sharp eye on him as well? Will you promise me that, Mr. Tesman, will you?
Of course, it'll be a pleasure, Miss Rosen.
Elsie.
I'll do everything I can for Iris, I promise.
That's terribly kind of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's my husband, you see, he thinks such a lot of him.
You ought to write to him, Tesman. He might not come and see you of his own accord.
Yes, Hedda. Perhaps that might be the best way of going about things, don't you
Yes,
think?
the sooner the better. Now, I'd say.
Oh, why don't you?
I'll do it this minute. Do you have his address, Mrs. Elston?
Yes. Here.
Good. Well done. I'll go and do it now then. Where am I? Right.
Make it a warm, friendly letter, will you, and long.
Right.
But don't tell him I asked you, please, will you?
Oh, of course not. That goes without saying, doesn't it?
That, my dear, is killing two birds with one stone.
What do you mean?
Couldn't you tell I was trying to get rid of him?
Yes, to write the letter.
And because I wanted to talk to you. Alone.
About the same thing.
Exactly.
But there's nothing more to say about it, Mrs. Tesman. Honestly, nothing.
Oh, yes, there is a lot. I can tell. Come here. Come and sit down and we can have a nice private conversation.
But Mrs. Tesman, I really think it's time I was on my way.
You can't be in that much of a hurry. Come on, let's sit down and tell me about something about what sort of life you lead at home.
That's the last thing I want to talk about.
Even to me. After all, my dear, we were at school together.
Yes, but you were in the class above me, and I was terribly frightened of you in those days.
Frightened of me.
Yes, terribly frightened. Whenever we passed on the stairs, you always used to pull my hair.
I didn't, did I?
Yes, and one day you said you wanted to set fire to it.
Yes, but that was just fooling around. Surely you must know that.
Yes, but I was so stupid in those days. And since then, since we left school, we seem to have drifted such a long way away from each other. We've moved in completely different circles.
Well, now's our chance to get together again. Listen, we used to be very friendly at school. We used to call each other by our Christian names.
I don't think so. I think you must be mistaken.
Of course I'm not. No, I remember distinctly. So let's be friends again, as we were in the old days, all right? And you must call me Hedda.
You're very kind to me. I'm not really used to kindness.
It's all right, I'll be your friend again, as I was before. And I'll call you Thora.
Thea it is, actually.
Thea, yes, of course. That's right, that's what I meant. So, Thea, you're not really used to kindness, not even in your own home?
Well, perhaps if I had it. But I haven't. I never have had.
No, I thought it might be something like that.
Yes.
I can't quite remember, but when you first went up to the magistrates, didn't you go as a housekeeper?
No, governess they took me on as in the first place, but his wife, his first wife, wasn't very well. She was bedridden most of the time, so I had to look after the house as well.
Until in the end it was your house.
Yes, that's right.
Now, let me think. How long is it since you...
Since I got married?
Yes.
5 years.
Yes, that's right, it must be.
Those 5 years, especially the last 2 or 3 of them. You can't imagine what it's been like, Mrs. Tesman.
Isla Lovborg's been up with you for around 3 years now, hasn't he?
Isla Lovborg, yes.
And did you know him before when you were living here?
No, not really. I'd heard of him, obviously.
But since he moved to the country, you've seen quite a lot of him.
Well, yes, he used to come every day to give the children lessons. In the end, I found I couldn't manage everything on my own.
No, I can understand that. What about your husband? He has to have to do a lot of travelling.
Well, yes, as a magistrate, he has to travel about quite a bit in his district. Well, I'm sure you know that, Mrs. Hedda.
Really now. Hedda. Now. Poor Thea. Listen, Thea dear, you're going to tell me everything now. The whole story.
It's better you ask the questions.
What sort of man is your husband, Thea? What's he like at home? Is he good to you?
I think he believes that everything he does is for the best.
It's just I was thinking he's probably rather old for you. More than 20 years older, isn't he?
Yes, there's that as well. And there are other things. Everything about him disgusts me. We have nothing in common, neither of us, not a single thought.
But surely he cares for you in his special way.
Oh, I don't know what he feels. I'm useful to him anyway, and that's probably as far as it goes. And I don't cost him very much either. I'm very cheap.
That's very silly of you, Thea.
It will never change, not with him. I don't think he cares for anyone but himself, except the children, perhaps.
And I let Lovborg.
Isla Lovborg? What makes you think that?
Well, if he sends you all this way to look for him, anyway, that's what you said to Tesman.
Was it? Yes, I suppose it was. Well, I might as well just tell you everything. It's bound to come out sooner or later anyway.
What is there?
Well, to cut a long story short, my husband didn't know I